We are recording today. So if you prefer not to be filmed, make sure you turn off your camera so you can't be seen. Please use our chat. If you have questions, please put your questions in the chat. We'll try to get to them live. If not, we'll get to them at the end of the Q&A. There's also closed captions if you just look into the meeting details if you need that as a service for you. So thank you again so much for being here, and we're just going to jump right in. Just a quick overview of what we will cover today. We'll go through some quick introductions of our teams. We'll talk a little bit about what Grow with Google is, about the Grow with Google Partner Program, 2 additional projects, Applied Digital Skills and Primer, and then our friends at NDIA will take it over, and followed by Q&A. So thanks again. So let's quickly just jump in to meet the teams. Again, my name is Tia McLaurin. I work on the Grow with Google team, and I focus on national partnerships. My colleagues Justine, Pilar, and Carol will speak shortly after to share more about Grow with Google, Applied Digital Skills, and Primer. Also, we have Christy and Miles, and I think I saw Angela here as well from NDIA joining us. They will walk you through the application, the process, and the program, and answer questions at the end. So thanks again for being here. A bit more about Grow with Google. Since 2017, more than 5 million Americans have grown their businesses and careers with the help of Grow with Google's trainings and in-person workshops. And through a network of more than 7,500 partner organizations, including local libraries, schools, and nonprofits, more people around the country have access to free online tools and flexible programs. We believe that technology has the power to unlock new opportunities for growth, which, when those opportunities are available to everyone, communities across the country can achieve their full potential. And earlier this year, Google shared its continued commitment to racial equity. And as a part of this commitment, Google is invested in digital skills trainings through partners to help Black job seekers, small business owners, and students grow their skills. And from this commitment and through Grow with Google, the Ujima project was born. Ujima is the 3rd principle of Kwanzaa, which is coming up really soon, and it encourages us to actively focus on collective work and responsibility. And in this partnership with NDIA, Grow with Google is launching this $150,000 community challenge grant to help NDIA affiliates leverage Grow with Google resources to support Black communities. The Ujima project is designed to challenge NDIA affiliates to design a project that creatively activates Grow with Google tools to upskill Black job seekers or students. And as an applicant, you have an opportunity to describe how you can best put Grow with Google workshops and trainings and tools into action to provide upskilling in your communities. Just a few points regarding the grant criteria. The request should not exceed $25,000. The project should be episodic or cohort-based. We won't consider one-time projects. Projects should serve at least 50 people over the course of the year. And so we're going to jump right into the details about our Grow with Google tools and partner programs so you can learn more about all of these resources that you have at your fingertips for this project. So I'm going to turn it over to Justine.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much, Tia. We can jump right into the next slide. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this slide because Tia has already given you a little bit of an overview about what Grow with Google is, but this slide sets up the next one, so I had to keep it in the presentation. Sorry, go back for 1 second, Tia. But essentially, what Tia mentioned is that Grow with Google is Google's initiative that helps people across the US grow their skills, careers, and businesses. And as part of that, Grow with Google is doing a lot of things across the country, including, or until recently, in-person training, as well as now a lot of digital efforts to train individuals across the US, specifically small businesses and job seekers, on how to use digital skills to grow their careers and businesses. Next slide. But we can't really reach the number of people that we want to reach. And we also can't reach them as meaningfully as we would like to without the help of nonprofit organizations that are already embedded in these local communities. So you guys are already doing this tough work of training people, training businesses in your communities to help them grow. So for, these businesses a lot better than a big company coming in could ever know them. So what we do through the Growth Google Partner Program is we offer the opportunity to access all of Growth Google's resources, tools, one-sheeters, presentation materials, essentially everything that Growth Google uses to present materials ourselves are available to the nonprofits that work locally with small businesses and job seekers, completely free of cost. Next slide. So when I talk about these nonprofits across the U.S., we have a little bit over 8,000 organizations that are already in the program. And the organizations that get the most out of this program are those that work directly with the audiences that we serve, and also that have training goals in place to help these individuals grow. Next slide. And through this program, we provide as much as we can to partners to enable you all to be able to host workshops, trainings, one-on-one trainings, and share information about Grow with Google with ease. So the biggest thing that we provide to our partners is resources. This includes get started guides, presentation materials that include speaker notes at the bottom of each slide that tell you how to present that slide, outreach materials, including promotional materials. If you decide to host a workshop on one of our small business topics, we have pre-written all of the social copy that you would need to promote that to your audiences. So everything soup to nuts that you would ever need to host a training session or day for the individuals that you work with, you would be able to do that using the materials that you find through our resource hub, which is called the Growth Google Partner Community. So another really big benefit to being a part of this program is that you'll have a direct line to Google. Of all these nonprofits that we work with, we hear a lot that, I really like Google's tools. I really like the Google My Business tool, and I think it's super useful for the individuals that I work with, but we always get to step XYZ and then we don't know where to go from there. Or I had a business that had their business listing suspended and we don't know why, and we don't know who to ask, or we didn't get the responses that we wanted to get from the helpline that's available publicly. One of the big benefits of this program is there's a team that reports to me, some of whom are on this call today, who are there specifically to support partners and answer questions and make connections between them and the teams that they're looking to ask questions of at Google. So this is a really big perk for our partners to be able to position yourselves as Google experts and have a line to Google to be able to ask questions and get those questions answered appropriately. Finally, we have the ability for you to interact with other partners through this program in the online portal called the Partner Community. So we love it when partners are able to learn from each other rather than just coming to us with questions. You can post questions in our partner community, and other partners that are using the materials and resources available there can answer those questions. Next slide. So we have a couple of types of trainings that our partners, we see our partners hosting, and these are the four most common. A self-facilitated training is a training that a partner presents themselves. So you all, if you are the person who manages the training curriculum for your organization, would access our slides and supplementary materials on the various topics, would study the speaker notes, would study the train the trainer videos that we have available, and would present the content yourselves at these workshops. This is a great option for partners that are interested in becoming a little bit more of a subject matter expert, or you love public speaking, or you have goals around providing trainings yourself at your organization. Another option is we host live streams, which the name of is changing in the coming year. They're likely to be called partner digital events, but they're virtual events where we present on a specific topic, that you are able to host a either virtual or in person, if we reach that point, viewing party around. So you don't need to learn any content. You would simply stream this virtual event for any individuals that you work with, and we will present the content for you. Finally, we have the option to request trainers, and this is also free of cost. If you can get a group of 50 people together, we will provide a trainer, a professionally trained Google speaker for you, free of cost, to come and speak at your event on your behalf. And finally, we know that our partners are very different in the ways they like to work with individuals, and some of you like to do one-on-one coaching. So all of the materials available in our partner community can be used for this purpose as well. Next slide. So these are a couple of the topics that we have available in our partner community for you to host workshops around. I know that most of you will likely be working with just one of these audiences, but I wanted to show you that we had a wide array of content available for multiple audience types. So the first workshop that you see there is actually the most popular workshop that we have available in our community now. It's for small businesses. It's called Get Your Local Business on Google Search and Maps, and this is to help businesses be found when customers are looking for them on Google Search and Maps. And then on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see some examples of recent live stream topics. So I'll point out Manage Your Business Remotely in Times of Uncertainty. This was a digital event that we hosted back in May in response to the coronavirus crisis, because we are always trying to keep that streaming content fresh and applicable to the individuals in the current times. Next slide. So now we come to, how do you get at all these great materials and resources and support? You can apply for the partner program at grow.google/partners. There's a short registration form you fill out there so that we can find out who you are. We do a little bit of confirmation on our back end to make sure that you are affiliated with the organization that you're applying with and you are in fact a nonprofit. And then you'll be accepted within about 2 or so business days, and you'll receive a welcome email from our team that includes information about how to create a login for the partner community, which is the online resource hub that I mentioned earlier. And there's also a link to join a welcome webinar where we will help orient you with the program and make sure that you have everything you need to get started hosting digital skills trainings through this program. So there's a lot available to people through this program. Normally I talk about this for up to an hour, so I tried to cram it all into 10 minutes, but hopefully that gave you a little bit of a taste of what we have available through the partner program. Do I have any more slides, Tia, or is that, nope, okay. That's done. Thank you so much. I hope you guys will join us. We'd love to partner up with you and help you bring some digital skills trainings to your communities.
Thank you so much, Justine. We're going to turn it over to Pilar to kick us off next.
Thank you, Tia. And yes, nice to meet you, everyone. So today I will walk you a bit through some slides to share more on applied digital skills. So if we go to the next slide. Yeah, so first we wanted to start with our commitment. So at Google, we believe that all students should have the opportunity to access the tools and training that will set them up for success in the jobs that are growing right in their own communities. So if we go up to the next slide. And we know as well of the current challenges. So we know that the job market is changing and the pace of this change is only accelerating even more with COVID-19. So that's why it's increasingly important that we prepare students and other learners for success in the job market. And I won't go through these numbers, but just to call out from The Economist, we know that 44% of 18 to 25 years old believe that education gives them the skills they need to enter today's workforce. So it's still pretty low. And again, we know that we can do more to help them prepare for the success in the job market. So if we go to the next slide, with all this in mind, we basically develop applied digital skills as a response to this challenge And Applied Digital Skills is a free video-based online curriculum that prepares learners of all ages for the growing number of jobs that require basic digital skills. So our curriculum is split into two parts, one that is designed for middle and high school students, and the other one is designed for adult learners in spaces like community colleges, libraries, workforce development trainings, at home, or more. If you go to the next slide, yeah. So essentially, our training is about building real world skills. So we bring together digital skills and practical life skills to develop unique projects. So our curriculum consists in a set of videos that learners can watch, and they will basically obtain step-by-step instruction on how, for example, how to create a presentation, or how to create a resume, or how to create a budget. So it's all very project-based and hands-on. If we go to the next slide, our content is also free, flexible, and easy to use. So our lessons are modular, so they can be taught as full curriculum or one-off enrichment. And basically, learners can complete lessons in groups or on their own and go at their own pace. If you go to the next slide. Yeah, so our content is also designed for learners with any level of technology experience. So there's no prerequisites required, and anyone can really take our classes. So this is something as well to bear in mind, as again, there's no requisites. It's really for everyone. And then I wanted to give you a taste of our curriculum. So I'll share some examples. So first of all, this lesson called Use Google to Get a New Job basically goes through activities like researching and finding jobs in communities, developing resumes, preparing for interviews, and creating job plans to help students and learners better develop the skills they need for a successful new job hunt. If we go to the next slide, the lesson that we have is use digital tools for everyday tasks. So in this lesson, we focus on basic foundational skills like setting up an email account, learning how to send emails, creating and starting to collaborate on documents, or how to do research online. So again, pretty foundational skills, but very much needed in today's digital world. And then another example of one of our most popular lessons is plan and budget. So basically in this lesson, we help students develop practical life skills, such as critical thinking, as they develop budgets. And basically in this process, as you can see in these images, learners learn how to use spreadsheets, conduct data analysis, and visualize data. So here you can see some additional lessons. I just walk you through three to, again, give you a sense of what our curriculum looks like. But here you can see more lessons, and you'll also find we have over 140 lessons at the moment on Applied Digital Skills. So if you go to the website, you'll be able as well to browse all of our content. So encourage you all to go and take a look. And again, these are both lessons designed for middle and high school students, as well as auto learners. So you can have a look and determine what's best for in your case. And I think that's it from me.
Yes. Thank you, Pilar. Next up, we have our friend Carol, who will share a bit about Primer.
Hi, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Cool. Hi, my name is Carol. I'm the marketing lead for Primer. And I wanted to get you just a quick introduction from Primer. I know you've been through a lot of programs right now, so I'll try to keep it short and objective so you can digest everything. Tia, if you go to the next slide. Cool, so what is Primer? Primer is a free mobile app for learning digital skills and business skills. So our mission is to introduce new skills and tools to help small businesses and job seekers feel more confident and prepare for the future. And emphasis here on introduction. We're very focused in starting a topic so you can get to actually take real life action. So we're now present in 10 countries and 9 different languages, including Spanish. And as I mentioned, we're also very focused in driving actionable outcomes with the skills that we teach. So our learning experience is very rooted in prompting our learners to take action to create real economic opportunity for their business or for their career. And we're proud to say that 9 in every 10 people that take these primer lessons, our primer lessons, take real life actions after they take our lessons. If you go to the next slide. I see a question. 1 second. What other languages? Growth Google resources are mostly only available in English. We have Growth Google programs across the world. But for the purposes of this conversation, this is the Growth Google US team. Primer is a global app that supports all of these global Growth Google programs across the board. So to answer your question directly, Growth Google resources are also available in Spanish. And Tia can give you probably more information around that as well. Okay, so what can you learn with Primer? Tia, if you go to the next slide, I don't know who's controlling. What business owners can learn with Primer? So Primer offers quick and interactive lessons to guide you through the steps of transforming a business idea into a reality. We also offer a fast-track learning plan with very actionable tips to overcome any challenge that you might have. Some examples of the lessons that we have in our app are find funding and get your business idea off the ground, manage your cash budget to keep your business running, how to work online reviews to grow more, to bring more customers to your business, and also how to create a business plan. If you go to the next slide, I think if you go back one. Okay, cool. So what job seekers can learn with Primer? Primer can also empower job seekers with new skills in marketing and businesses. So we're very focused in those 2 main topics for job seekers. And we focus very much in topics that are becoming more important in today's job market. So we very much focus in giving you the confidence to talk about these topics in the job interview versus going deep on these topics, right? We have other programs like AppSki and some of our on-air workshops that can get you go a little deeper. Some of the examples of the lessons that we offer are create a strategic plan for growing in your career, smooth out operations as you help create revenue in your job, be more productive at work while renewing our energy. We know we all need that this year. Build an innovative workplace destined for long-term success. We also have lessons on workplace inclusivity, like inclusive hiring, be more inclusive in hiring, do more inclusive workshops, and so on. Now you can go to the next slide. Oh no, this is, okay. So what makes Primer different? And if whoever is controlling the presentation, if you can just quickly refresh, I added a GIF here just so you can see how the actual experience works. But if someone is sharing this offline as well, you can see it. But if you go to yourprimer.com, you can download and interact with our lessons. The way we create our lessons are meant to dive into very scary and hairy digital tools and break them down into chunkable and digestible, swipeable cards. So every lesson takes 5 minutes or less. They're very easy to digest because of these swipeable cards. We also work with specialists to create high quality content. So a lot of our content, if we're creating something that is about a Google product, we will consult with that Google product manager. If we create something about creating a website, for example, we partner with folks like Squarespace or Score to build that content in a very to make sure that that content is reputable and trustworthy. And our lessons also go beyond explaining how to just use digital tools. We also introduce very complex topics to empower folks on to make smarter decisions for their career and business as well. And I think that is it. We are a proud 4.9 review app in the App Store and Google Play. And this is just what people talk about Primer and how it helped their lives. And if you want to check it out, again, you can go to yourprimer.com or look for it in any of your app stores. And that is it for me, I think.
Carol, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I think I'm going to turn it over to Christy next. And Miles.
Okay. So hi, everybody. I'm Christy Zappi-Ferradino with the National Digital Inclusion Alliance. I want to thank the Google team so much for pulling this together and sharing all the information about the great Grow with Google resources that I know you're super excited to bring to your communities. So today we are opening up the application process. On the screen here, I put actually, can you go up to the other slide that I put in that had the requirements? Thank you. So we're going to be providing through the Grow with Google Ujima project 6 grants of $25,000 each. The applications are going to be accepted online only, and we have the link here. It's also available and live right now on our website, thanks to our fabulous team. There's also going to be a PDF on the site so you can download the application and see what kind of information that you need to collect. We want this to be a lower lift for you to be able to enter information and think about ways that you're going to creatively bring Grow with Google resources to your community. So a couple of requirements. All applicants must be NDIA affiliates. And if you're not an affiliate, there's an easy way for you to go and do that, and it's free. It's digitalinclusion.org/join. We will also send a follow-up to everyone who's attended today, and I'll include information on that. And the second thing is you must also be a registered Grow with Google partner. And there's also a link here to do that. And hopefully when you registered for today's webinar, you took advantage and registered for the Grow with Google partnership, so you could take advantage of all the wealth of resources that the team here has shared. All of the applications are going to be reviewed by an external panel of judges. So I want to let you know that. So there's some really great experts in the field who are going to be reviewing your applications. One of the things that I want to focus on is all of the requests must include how the Grow with Google resources can focus on supporting Black communities. So that focus must be on Black communities. So I'm going to flip it to Tia to ask, can you help define how Black communities are going to be defined as people are thinking about how to shape their proposal?
Sure. I'm happy to think through that with you all. And I think we should just use a bit of generous agnostic love here and say that when we want to support Black communities, the work should be majority Black audiences that you're working with and directing this work to. If there are others that will benefit from this that happen to be a part of the program, that is absolutely fine, but the initiative should focus on serving Black communities.
Perfect, thank you so much. So if you could flip to the other slide that I had some key dates. So right now, today, the application is live. So you can go ahead and think about how you're going to craft your proposal. We will accept proposals from today through January 14th, which gives you some time in the midst of the winter holidays to think through it. The grantees will be announced in February. We will then hold a kickoff session with the grantees in March. The distribution of grants and the training will be April through May. And then we're going to have a window from April 1 to October 31 where you are implementing the work that you had said that you will do about bringing Grow with Google resources to your community to upskill those communities. In October, we're going to have a super exciting partner check-in with a meeting to see how things are going and to collect some of the stories that you're gathering on what the impact has been on bringing the Grow with Google resources to your community and how it's made a difference to the groups that you are serving. And then in December, you will need to create a final report and submit that to us so NDIA can gather it all and get it over to Tia and her team. I do want to mention too that Miles from NDIA is also going to be working on the project with me. So you will see his name around as well as we're working through the project. So that's the big overview from our part. Again, we have more information about the challenge grant, about the Ujima project. And Tia, can we also have this? I know we're going to have the recording, but would you mind if we also share the PowerPoint deck with everybody after today?
I think we will be able to do that, yes.
Perfect. Okay, so that is the big overview of this really exciting project that we're really thrilled to partner with Google to bring out to you. So I'd love to open it up for questions. So I know that I know I've gotten a few myself over here. So we're going to open it up there. And as you guys are typing in your questions, I had a question for the Google team. So you had mentioned that if partners have 50 people or more in attendance, you will send a professional trainer. Does that apply to this project as well?
It does apply to this project. So if you all are using Grow with Google workshops through the partner program and you have a guaranteed 50 plus folks that are participating, we can do a virtual training. We're not doing anything in person quite yet, but we could have a trainer support that. So it does apply.
Perfect. Well, that is exciting and that's fantastic because as we're looking through the applications that will be submitted from you all, you know, those projects that have the largest impact that are going to be serving and reaching at least 50 people over the course of the grant are preferred. So as you're thinking about how you're going to shape this to bring more upskilling resources to your community, think about how you could best frame the schedule and the training program to reach as many people and take advantage of this really generous opportunity. So thank you. That just makes this project even huger. So thank you so much. Let's look at the questions. Okay. So one of the questions was, is it 50 at one time or can several cohorts equaling 50 people? I think it was 50 at one time in a venue in order to qualify for a Google staff professional trainer to come out. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Perfect. Can Google Workplace certifications be part of the potential program?
So what are you imagining doing with the certifications? We will have information about them in the partner program and partner community. So yes, that can be part of the resources that you use through the partner program to help the individuals that you work with. I think that answers the question.
Okay, thank you.
I love it when we don't have questions. That means you all know how to do this and you have ideas already of how you're going to apply. Yes, yes, yes. Ms. Hinton Hodge, feel free to ask your question if you want to come off of mute or you can type either way.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for these resources.
Yeah.
I feel like Pilar maybe to kind of reference schools a lot. And so I just any thoughts on because I'm with a school. So just thinking a little bit about maybe I don't know, just how this might apply with students. We're still also thinking cross-generational, like with parents as well. So just was wondering if there's any thoughts around application inside of schools.
Yeah, so yes, I was sharing before, applied digital skills mainly has two core audiences. So adult learners who use, again, our curriculum on their own, but then a large majority are actually middle and high school students that are basically using our lessons in the classroom. So essentially, teachers can sign up to apply digital skills and can create an account as a teacher, and then they can add students to a class that they create. So students also come to apply digital skills. They create an account as students, and they have the ability to join a class that was created by a teacher. And so teachers can, as I said before, we have over 100 lessons, so can choose the lesson that they think is a good fit for their students. And it's something that we see, especially with COVID-19, it works well both in the classroom or asynchronous with students at home and teachers learn teaching remotely. So it's definitely something that's in that sense is very flexible. I don't know if that answers your question.
Thank you, Pilar. And I'll jump into, Howard, your question was around outcomes. And just generally for the Ujima project, we have these great tools that we have been pretty prescriptive about how we encourage our partners to use them. I'm hoping that you all come up with really creative ideas about how this fits into the work you do, right? So if we could flip the model on its head a bit, how do you take these and bring them to life in your communities, in your schools, in your programs, in your libraries, with the work that you do every day to ensure that people have the best use of these tools? So the example that I've been using, let's say we all know that foster care teens, when they age out of the program, are really vulnerable populations. Let's say if you wanted to do a program and leverage the Grow with Google workshops and apply digital skills in a workshop to help aging foster care youth build tools so they have a budget when they walk out, they have a resume when they walk out, they have a college plan, leveraging all of these resources that we have, and then they take that out in the world, right? Like you could do that as a part of this program because we have all three of those things available. And maybe as an incentive for you to get your teens to participate in this, you give them a refurbished computer and a small stipend, right? Like that could be an example of something that you could do that I just made up. So we're open to however you want to kind of take our tools and flip them to benefit the work you do already. Melissa, good question regarding how long does it take to complete a workshop? It depends. So Justine, do you want to say how long a workshop usually is? And then same thing for Pilar and Carol.
So in terms of the workshops that are available through the partner community, the typical time that it takes for a partner to present a workshop is minimum 45 minutes, but it can run up to an hour and a half. It really depends on how quickly you run the program, how long Q&A takes, if you take any break for Q&A, but it's usually between 45 minutes and an hour and a half. Also depends on the subject. If you present on something that's a little more complex, like our new analytics topic, that'll take a little bit longer than presenting on something more basic, like I'm trying to think of what one of our basic S&B, like potentially communicate with calendar and Gmail might take a little bit less time.
And I can jump in on the primer side. As I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, a primer lesson in a specific topic, and that it's very focused in a topic like create a business plan, that takes 5 minutes, between 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how fast of a reader you are, but it's mostly built in these digestible chunk cards. But we usually highlight the importance of finishing a mini course, which is a collection of lessons. That takes maybe half an hour, usually, when you complete a whole course. And a whole course can mean like start your business idea, take off with your business idea, and that will come with like a business plan, how to create a spreadsheet to kind of track budget, and then how to create a digital marketing campaign. And that is a collection of lessons that will take half an hour. Again, we're very focused in introducing you to these topics so you can go and get ahead and start doing it and learning by doing it versus diving deep like a 45-minute workshop.
Yeah, and on the AppSki side, I think it also depends a lot on the lesson, and you can like obviously take several lessons, but generally speaking, lessons are around 45-90 minutes. Again, there's some that are longer and some that are a bit shorter, but I would say that the average length of our lessons are around that time.
Thank y'all for giving that little snippet from each. I see a couple other questions. How do we see the money being used? And Christy, feel free to jump in. From a Google side, we recognize nonprofits need to use the money how they need to use the money to operate their business. We are not being prescriptive about that. Christy, anything from your side about any ways?
No, nothing restrictive from our side. I do like the example that Tia had mentioned about providing training to kids aging out of foster care and maybe providing them with a device. So we'll also include that as an example on our application page just to help you think through it. But I really think the sky's the limit of what you can do in your community to really bring these resources out to the clients that you serve. So yeah, so that's the answer to that. And I just saw another question just fly up on the screen.
And Brian also has his hand raised. Brian, did you want to ask a question?
Yes. So it sounds like I'm hearing two different things. It's one to become a Grow with Google partner, and then there's one to submit for the Ujima project. So when I signed up for this, I guess I applied to become a partner. Will my organization be entitled to use all those resources, or do we have to win the grant to become a partner?
Oh no, good news. If you are a partner, you have access to all of the tools and the resources now. You do not have to worry. Like, these two things are not inclusive. So we are glad that you're a partner. Justine and team are happy to have you, and please take advantage of all the tools.
Thank you.
All right. Marketing materials available to everyone. Yes, you all will have, you saw the branding we had. We will make sure you have all the branding available to you. We will work on announcement moments together when you're ready for that. So don't worry about that. We will make sure we'll be right by your side as we make any announcements, and you'll have all the tools you need to be successful there. Any programs for senior citizens already using these partner resources? So Pilar, Carol, Justine, anything about senior citizens using these resources that you want to speak on?
I can speak a little bit about Primer. We don't have a specific focus on senior citizens, but we do, to the extent of like some familiarity with mobile and apps. Our lessons and our user experience is really easy for anyone to understand, and we often run a lot of user experience research in the places with the audiences that we try to support, to always get feedback and improve and make it, again, as easy as possible for people to learn. So I would say no particular focus, but I think anyone can take lessons on Primer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's pretty similar for applied digital skills. So it's not our main focus, but as I was sharing before, many of our lessons are pretty like basic and are about like foundational digital skills. So in that sense, again, it doesn't require to have any like knowledge or technical experience. So really anyone can take our lessons, and that obviously includes senior citizens as well.
Ditto from the partner program. The one thing that I will add is we've made sure that all of our materials are accessible friendly. So the font's big enough, should be no problem. teaching using our decks to senior citizens.
Thank you, y'all. And I know that you all have to wrap up in a couple minutes. Rick, I saw that you had a question. We're happy to answer.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm with the city of Kansas City, Missouri, and we're a Grow with Google partner. I just got my password reset email while we're talking. And we're also an NDIA affiliate. So the application, can the city then be the applicant? We're not necessarily a nonprofit, but can the city be an applicant?
Yes. So Christy, that is totally up to you and the NDIA team. Totally your call.
Yes.
Angela
So we
says
had yes. So we had talked about if the city was applying with a nonprofit, which you and I had talked about. So that would be perfect.
Okay. Yeah, and we've got Simone Curls with the Prospect Business Association is on the line with us here. I don't know if are you registered as a nonprofit, Simone?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So I have, and then we're talking with PCs for People, Kansas City. They're a nonprofit, and then we've got a whole crew here. We'll bring into the application. So thank you. Appreciate the answers.
great.
Good to see you, Simone.
And Melissa, just to kind of piggyback on what Chrissy just said in the chat to you regarding use the tools that make the most sense. If you want to use a little bit of the Applied Digital Skills curriculum and then you see some really nice match in Primer, great. If you just want to stick with one thing, you don't have to glue these things together. We encourage you to be creative. That's why it's a challenge grant for you to choose how you want to do it. And again, flip the model of how we're just giving you these really prescriptive things to things that could really work for you. All right, I see another hand. Ms. Hodge.
Hi again. So my competitive nature just came out. So what's your sense of like depth versus breadth around these things? And I think it's coming from my experience in my own community as a Black woman, that like sometimes there's community-based organizations that don't have like great capacity. And so understanding absolutely where Ujima is coming from, just from a spiritual place, right, of what Ujima is about. So I'm just wondering, because sometimes people are like, multiple tools spread, to 200 versus, 50, 20 deeper.
I think the only things that we've asked for in the request is that you serve at least 50 people over the course of this, right? Like if you're doing an episodic program for the next 12 months, you can do very small, in-depth things to help people build skills and really be able to tell amazing stories of their success. You could build something that way. If you wanted to do a cohort model, I think you have a lot of flexibility. And again, our minimum number served over the course of 12 months is 50. So I hope that gives you like a little bit of a vision of what you could build. If you want to serve 2,000, that's great. If you want to serve 50, that's fine too. Any other questions? Okay, Melissa has another question. Is the end focus on job placement? Are there any additional support offered by Google upon completion? Melissa, feel free to come off of mute. And when you say additional support, I'd love to know what you're thinking regarding that.
Sure. Hi. Thanks for bearing with me with all of my questions. So
No, you're fine.
I didn't really have like any in particular thing in mind. Maybe it's like connections to potential employers within that space. I mean, that's kind of like the one thing that comes to mind, but I just wasn't sure if that was part of the program. So I just thought I'd ask.
I think it's a fair and valid question. I think it really depends. If with our Google Career Certificates, there is an employer group where they introduce completers to these employers and make sure their resumes or experience is valued just as much as degrees and they're seen for particular positions. But that's if you're focused specifically on the Google career certificates. Otherwise, I don't think we have a consortium of employers where we're kind of pushing people towards. That has been the work of a lot of our partner organizations where they are building those things or have those networks already. So it hasn't been, a focus for the general Grow with Google team.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate the clarity.
I had a question if there were going to be any new resources developed and released or workshops within the next 6 months that either the people who have all signed up as Grow with Google partners or the people who receive the challenge grant can be looking forward to or expect to see during the grant period?
I can add something from Primer. So as you saw, we're an app right now. So there is a certain friction that it takes for you to train someone with content that is served in an app. So we're rolling out a web widget, which is basically a tool that allows you to curate some of our content into a form of a mini course. And you can host that in your own website. So for example, if you're creating a portal that are supposed to train your own audience on multiple resources around that, we can provide a tool that is basically an experience that a user can take directly on your website. So they can get trained, they can have the same experience as they would have in an app in that website. We're still rolling that out, and it's a slow rollout, but we're definitely foreseeing having that tool widely available in the next 6 months. So if you have any interest of that, please reach out to Tia and she'll probably make the connection here.
Excellent, thank you.
And, from Applied Digital Skills and the Grow with Google program, there's new content, as Pilar said, that comes out regularly. And same thing from the Grow with Google workshops. We have new on-air workshops that come out, as well as our live streams that are always new. So lots of opportunities to see new content, yes. All right. Well, again, I don't see any more hands, do I? No. This is great. Thank you all for your time. We're excited to see what creativity comes out of this. We absolutely are passionate about our tools, and we're excited to see what you can do with them too.
Excellent. Thank you so much to Tia and the Google team for your time. We are thrilled to bring this to our affiliates, and it just really goes to show the value of being an affiliate of NDIA, and really excited to see what you all come up with as you bring these awesome programs out to your community. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Miles, and he did put his email in the chat, so you have that. Again, we will be following up with information on how you can access that application and direct questions to us. And I'm looking forward to seeing so many of you in the coming months.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, thanks.